And guys, we're going to wrap up this week with the nightcap on ESPN between Texas A&M and Auburn down on the plains. The Aggies only favored by 2.5. Freddie, I don't know if you saw the Mike Elko press conference where he was asked if he's looking ahead to Texas. He said they are completely focused on Texas, I mean Auburn, in his press conference. Not a good look to be overlooking the Weagles when they have their last home game of the season. So, what is Chase thinking about this game, Freddie?
So Chase isn't falling into the trap here. He's going Texas A&M. He thinks it's an easy choice. Auburn hasn't played any meaningful football all year. They will come out strong, but eventually fall. Final score 38-10, going Texas A&M's way. Me, on
Okay.
the other hand, this is an interesting matchup here. You've got Auburn under the lights at home. Texas A&M team that's coming in with a conference championship on their mind and a huge rivalry game next week against Texas on their mind. Um, Mike Elko himself is not focused on Auburn. What makes me think the team is focused here on Auburn? Um, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm going for the upset here. I think Auburn wins this game. This is one of those things that Auburn does. They all, like, every single year that they're 4-6 or whatnot, two things happen. Number one, they lose games at the wire that they shouldn't lose. That's happened 3 or 4 times this year because of stupid plays by Peyton Thorne, pick sixes, things of that nature. I'm thinking of the Oklahoma game specifically. And two, there's an upset somewhere. They haven't had that yet. They haven't had an upset this year yet. They're 4-6. They've only won one conference game. I think this is it. I think Auburn actually does pull this off against Texas A&M, and I think this is a lesson for Mike Elko and the rest of the SEC, especially any new coach that comes in. You can't take weeks off. I don't care who you're playing. If it's a bottom feeder, you can't take a week off. Just look at Texas against Mississippi State. I know they didn't lose, but that was a much closer game than what a lot of people probably thought, and Mississippi State is worse than Auburn. So I'm going to Auburn to win this game at home at 6:30.
Yeah, it's a scary prospect to play Auburn on the road this late into the season, especially when you got a big game the next week and Auburn's got nothing to lose. However, I think Chase somewhat got it right. I think Auburn will come out hitting hard. The environment's going to be crazy because it's the last home game of the year. But at the end of the day, I think A&M is talented enough, and I respect Elko enough that I believe that this team will get what they need to do to get it done. Now, I'm not going to go out here and say, oh, Auburn's going to come out strong and A&M's going to get right the ship and win by 4 touchdowns. That's not happening. They're going to right the ship and get out of there with their lives, maybe escaping with a 5 to maybe even almost a double-digit win that doesn't really feel. It could be one of those games where they win by 11, but we all watch them have a 4-point lead and then get some like crazy game selling play that put them up 11. Um, but yeah, I like the Aggies to get through this game. I think they're going to go into the Lone Star Showdown, make it the marquee game of the week, make Kyle Field be the most insane, electric environment you've ever seen. Firmly, it will be the most insane environment of the season as long as they can get through this game, and I think they do. So give me the Aggies getting out with their playoff lives, their SEC lives, and they move on to the next round. And Auburn will limp their way to the Iron Bowl at 4-7 with no hope of bowl eligibility with a victory over the Tide.
Hmm.
All right, guys. Now remember, we are sponsored by SeatGeek. Use our code 3BoldTakes, get $20 off. And we will see you next week. Chase, we can't wait to see you next week, buddy. Have you back in person. And we've been 3 Bold Takes, signing off.